Hi, welcome back. Let me do the transition first before I do anything else. Um, Welcome back to my stream. It is a stream about Rust. We are working on the Roguelike tutorial that's designed for Rust from the libtcot thing. We've gotten all of section 1 done. We've got all of section 2 except for 3.6 done. And we started doing the refactoring of the map yesterday, and I ran into issues with not being able to find things. Rust was complaining about all sorts of stuff, and I've got a feeling. So I was thinking about it, and I've got a feeling that it's related to the way I set up my cargo.toml file. What I did when I was originally creating this was I wanted to rename the library tutorial like this. And it's the way it works, I guess, is that you can only have one. Maybe? I don't know. So what I thought we would do now is try to figure out if there's a way maybe I can just call the library tutorial and reference it from main. I don't know. If I look at source, all that's there is, oh yeah, I tried creating this thing yesterday, didn't I? Source mod. Yeah, so let's remove that. Let's remove, let's remove this line here. And oh, yeah, I'm still on 2018. I should update that. And I just noticed that I misspelled my email address, SCIENTIST. Okay, so let's fix that too, since that's super important. And let me just mv source lib to source tutorial. And then I'm just stabbing in the dark here. Source lib.rs and have it import, use tutorial, mod tutorial, and then, or pub mod, maybe, and then pub use tutorial :*. And I'd have no idea what's going to result from this. Yeah. Entity not found in the scope. Is this just a million specs things? So game state, that's interesting. Maybe I need, does the lib do that? Use specs prelude. I mean, are we getting close, in other words? Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now we got to figure out, this is where we were yesterday, trying to figure out the map. And I think this is also a file I added yesterday that, no, that's part of that. Okay. Map no longer uses that. Let's clean that up while we're here. And it doesn't use random number generator anymore because we refactored that into the, like that and that, right? And then, let's see. So that should clean up that. That should clean up that. And then this is an unused import. Oh, it's interesting. So this doesn't get used from here, but it does get used from the lib.rs that I created. Okay. Oops. Vim. NVim. Okay. So the only thing left now is the map building thing. And we're going to try to figure out if we can import that somehow. So I deleted that, but I've got tutorial in main. Yes, so if I say use map builders here. Oh no, I already have that here. So pubmod lib. What does that do? Does that, if I comment that out, does that break everything? I'm still not used to the hotkey for that. Yeah, so it doesn't break everything, but what if we... Do I have... Oh, I don't have FCF set up. I got to figure out how to do that. Was that a... Okay, sidetracked. Getting sidetracked here. Config and vim. And that is part of... Yeah, so in setup, we had a list of things to set up, and we're missing FCF. That was it. Yeah, I looked this up yesterday, pack. So down here we pulled all that stuff in, but we didn't git clone http github.com/that. So I think that's missing from the setup script. And now if I go back to my documents, dev rt, can I hit Control P? I can. Look at that. Okay. So it was in game state. Oh. I just noticed. Yeah, we got 16,000 files. Is there a way I can tell FCF to ignore the target directory? Basically ignore what's in the git ignore? All right, I'm not going to worry about it. So we shouldn't have to do this, right? Because we're doing a use on it, right? In main. It's the model use that fails. I don't know. It's just saying right now, it's saying, oops, I've got to figure out how to do this thing too. Use of undeclared creator module map builders. Maybe we just remove it altogether because I've got the use in... No. Yeah, so and if I put this back, it's going to say unknown resource. Dang. Could not find map builders and create routes. So this is where we were yesterday. And I thought I was fixing things. Maybe, oh, maybe I need to add it to lib.rs. Yeah, pub mod map builders, pub use map builders : star. Save that. Nope. Oh, I got to create a .lib. Oh. Typo? Where's my typo? B-U-I-L. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Epic. B-U-I-D-L-E-R-S, and that's on line 6. Oh, I fixed the wrong thing. Oops. Okay. RT tutorial. So this is interesting. So I think we're almost there. Maybe. Use some undeclared art. So this is, we shouldn't need this, right? Because we're using it. Yes! Oh my God. Okay, so. Oh, there. Okay, there we go. So what did I have to do? Yeah, looking good. Thanks, Epic. So what I did, oh, that was a typo on my email address. It's been there since day one. I do want to upgrade to 2021 at some point. I think it's going to be pretty much a no-op. All right, so I removed this lib thing from here, and I renamed the source lib directory to source tutorial. And then, yeah, see source lib, and now everything's going to show is deleted, right? And I need to do an add on tutorial. Okay. I'm probably supposed to do a git move, right? Git status. Yeah. And that would have... Okay. Git add source and cargo.toml. This is probably not the right way to do it. Oh, it did. It figured it out. It was all renamed. Good. Okay, so Git's smarter than I am. All right, so now we have a lib, a main lib, which includes map builders and tutorial. We have the map builders, which we started over here in this tutorial. And then I remove those lines from cargo.toml. Okay, so git commit refactored workspace to include map builders. Okay, let's get that saved away on the repo. Cargo fix edition. Yeah. So I think, yeah, why don't we do it now? So I think first we need to do is update this to 2021, right? I do need to rust update, maybe, to make sure I've got all the latest stuff. This might take a little while. We'll see what changes. And then do I have to do some sort of oh, I'll do the cargo. I'll just copy and paste what you wrote. Okay, so that worked. Cargo fixed edition. Oh, it has uncommitted changes because of I changed that. Right? Moving edition to 2021. And then we'll do the cargo fix. I probably should do a cargo update too at some point, or maybe this does it. This is what it's doing, because it is compiling stuff. But maybe it's just recompiling what I pulled in. And then a cargo update would update the all of these crates to their latest version. And then everything would explode. Source lib is already in the latest edition, unable to migrate further. Oh, okay. So we do cargo fix edition first. Ah, all right. All right. Um, 18. We'll do the cargo fix edition. Oh, right. Revert to 2018 again. Yeah, Epic. I'm hoping this just does a no-op, just to get everything up to date. But it is recompiling things for. It's just migrating. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So now, did it change it? Nothing changed. All right. So now we put the toml back to 21. And we have a bunch of commits. And I don't know enough about Git to collapse these down into 2021 again. There's a way to collapse all these down because I didn't push these three yet, so it should be collapsible, but I don't know. Yeah, having it warn you is good. I like that because you don't want to put changes on top of changes, right? So, all right, so this is where we were yesterday. We are able to now replace the world map resource with that. We should be able to just build. Oh, because it has to build to the 2021 edition. And somehow I lost my scroll. Hopefully this will go quickly. And then what we'll do is we can continue with the tutorial, placing the player. So while that's doing, I can look here. If you look in main RS, pretty much every time we build a map, we look for the first room and use it to place the player. Never figured out how to rewrite history in Git because I think it's philosophically wrong to do so, but I understand why people like it. Yeah, so in my day job, we use Mercurial, and it's very easy to, you've got your workspace checked out, you're making a bunch of changes, and then when you push to the main repo, they don't want to see 100 different change sets going in. In Mercurial, these are called change sets instead of commits. And they just want a single change set which contains the bug fix or the feature that you're pushing. So being able to do that in Mercurial is very easy. You just use a command called roll, which rolls up all of your changes into a single change set. And there's probably something similar in Git that does that. All right, so that looked like that worked. So I should be able to refresh, and it should still generate maps. Oh, I got to take out the trap thing. Okay, so it's still generated a map. Everything's still. Oh, that trap's visible. Oh, I got to see it. Yep, I spotted a bear trap. Okay, good. Okay, so everything's still working, which is great. And we're clean. Okay. So now in map builders, what we'll do is, in main, let's expand our interface in map builders to return a position. Oh, I see. So now we're returning a tuple with a position in there. Have you encountered any bugs, glitches in the guide you're following? Yeah, here and there. As I've been going through it, there have been like grammatical errors and typos and things like that, but there's also things where they make a change and don't explain everything. Like when we added the save load system, there was a lot of me faffing about trying to get that to build, figuring out what to include and what not to include and where to put it. Do I even have that on the first page anymore? Probably not. But yeah, so if you look at the ad, so the save load system was a lot of, it was frustrating. Almost as frustrating as figuring out how to get the thing to compile after we refactored the map. I did ping the guy who made the tutorial, Herbert, I forget his last name. Yeah, he's got a Patreon. He just came out with a book too. Oh, this bracket, yeah. So Lynn's, stuff like that. And he talks about the 7-day roguelike challenge too. So he goes by the name Bracket, but I think his real name is Herman something. And he wrote this book. And there are a bunch of PRs against the book because it is up. All the source of this is on GitHub. But I think he's moving away from this one now because Specs is going away and they refactored the RLTK into bracket lib. You can see bracket lib here, but I'm still calling RLTK. So there's a bunch of updates that need to happen. All right, so we're going to go into our map builders. And mod. And we're going to change this so we add a way to return the position. And we're going to do that here as well. Stole the P from map there. Okay, so we're returning a tuple. We need to go into simple map to make the build function actually return a tuple. Yep. So simple. Yep. Okay, so build has to return a tuple. And then that's the only thing that needs to change there. And then we need to add map and player pause. And how do we get this? So we just say let player pause equals that. But now we have to change that to return a player pause. Position, right? And then we're going to just do this. So we're still grabbing it from the center. Okay. So down here at the bottom, let's start, pause, map, rooms, center. And Y start, pause, 1. Okay, so that's of course broken the code in main. That's true. Cargo check should show that. Oh, not found in the scope. Okay, so we need to pull in position, right? Let's fix that. Oh. Tutorial position? No. Oh, okay. So we still need to fix something here, right? Because we have this, and this is pulling map and rect and tile. Yeah, it's coming out of super. Where do we define rect? Yeah, that's coming out of tutorial. And where do we define position? Isn't that, you know, a component? Yeah, that's a component. Right. So it should be coming out of the components here. So how are we able to see rect and not able to see oh, because it's in no. Is it because it's in here in common? This is in tutorial. And this is in map builders. Map builders is able to get rect. Yeah, get rect. Oh, maybe because it's here. Ah. So if I pull up mod in map builders, I can put position here, right? Well, let's do a cargo check. Okay. Now this doesn't work again. Oh, because, right. It doesn't work because now we have a tuple. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is working. And of course, there's people outside doing yard work. Wonderful. All right. Hopefully that's not too loud in the mic. So, right. It broken the code we updated in main.rs, which this is part of. I pulled this out of main.rs. So now we're going to return a world map, a current depth, and a player start. Right? So instead of, yeah, and let player X, player Y equal to player start. So we're going to return that here. Player start. And we're going to return here with player start and return player start. And that should fix that one. And then the one in main needs to be fixed as well. Oh no, I got to change this here. Not world map room center. This is player start dot X and player start dot Y. Right? Oh. Let player start. That's awkward though, right? Cannot assign to this expression. Destructuring assignments are unstable. Really? Because we're using that? Oh, because it's an assignment rather than... Oh, boy. Yeah, because I need this world map resource here and then reassign it there. Okay, so we're going to have to say let new map player start, right, is equal to this. Ah! I hit F1 again. Okay, and then world map resource equals new map. And then we'll say world map resource clone, new depth, and player start. So does that work? It does. Okay, and now we have to fix this part, right? Because now build random map. I didn't complain about that one, huh? Oops. No field rooms on map. Oh yeah, because right, because this is a tuple here. So let's destructure it. Player start, and player X, player Y is player. Why go through that? Why don't we just use it directly? And just call it player lock for location. Don't need to do that, and we can just say player lock dot, right? And do that. So that should build, and then we're going to have the other error in spawn goodies, which we'll fix in a second. Oh. No, I guess not. Okay, so that all worked. So again, if we cargo build and cargo run this, nothing's going to change. Right. Yeah, if all went well, then nothing has changed. Okay, we've made significant gain. However, our map building strategy now determines the player's starting point on a level, not the map itself. Okay, so that's good. So make sure Clippy's happy, and then we'll take a look at this. All right, so this is just fixing that up. This is destructuring that. So now whenever we want to pull something else in from tutorial, the tutorial subdirectory, we need to add it to the map builders mod.rs use super, and then we have access to it. That's a little awkward, but so git add source, git commit -m, more map refactoring, player position. Okay, let's push that up. Okay, good. Next is cleaning up room spawning. So it's quite possible we won't have the concept of rooms in some map designs, so we also want to move spawning to be a function of the map builder. We'll add a generic spawner to the interface. Okay. So we're going to pass in the world and the depth. Huh. So if the map has the depth, why are we passing in the depth there? I guess. I don't know. Requires ECS, and we'll also add a public function spawn to provide an external interface to the layout. An external interface to lay out the monsters. Okay, so you were asking before Epic about, yeah, there's a few typos and whatnot, but we muddle our way through. So we're going to modify map builders mod to add a new spawn map ECS world and new depth, which I'm gonna look at whether or not we need this. We might not even need this. And then a public function Okay. So at some point we're going to do some random map stuff, but right now we're just passing everything over to simple map builder, which is fine. The reason I'm hesitating is because having just random public functions instead of it being a map thing, I don't know. So in simple map builders, we're going to add a new function called spawn, which takes a map. Wait. Oh, not on here. Oh yeah, no, we do need to add it here. But why are we passing in? We're not passing in self? We do need to implement it because we added it to the trait. All right, I'm just gonna go for it. Oh, and this does not have new depth. So how is that going to compile? Right? Because it needs map ECS and new depth. We definitely need to implement the trait, right? Otherwise, we don't have the trait won't work. And this looks like this is Okay. Let's take a look at that mod again. Right. So we have a function that we need to implement. I typoed this, which takes a map, a world, and a depth. And we have a trait we need to implement. Now this is just saying, okay, this is a static thing, this is a static thing, but can we just ignore that? And then what about this new depth thing? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow away the new depth here and here. And the map should have the depth, although we're passing in 1. So I'm going to change that. Spawn, map, ECS, world, for room in map, rooms, iter, skip 1, spawn room, ECS room, map dot depth, right? And then we'll have to pull it in spawner somehow. And I think maybe that needs to happen here. Maybe? If I build this, it's gonna, yeah. Oh, world is not found in the scope. Okay, so that's specs prelude. Which is in mod. No, it's not in mod. So let's just throw it in here. Use specs prelude star. Right? Oh, I got to add Q to :Q CR. There, that's better. Okay. Missing spawn implementation. Yeah, that's what I thought. So what is this supposed to do? We add a generic spawner to the interface. We'll add a public function spawn to provide an external interface. Then we add simple map to implement spawn on simple map builder. Yeah, I'm all right. Well, we can work our way through this. What if we just remove that? Remove this, right? Because we're not calling it anywhere. Private associated function. We have build. Where's build? Yeah, sorry about that, Epic. I don't know why they chose now to do the lawn, but it's going to be for the rest of the stream, unfortunately. Okay, so okay. So when we call build, that's this build. So if I look here, right, we're calling simple map builder :build, and that's calling this build. So simple map builder :spawn is calling this spawn, which means this spawn here. Oh, let me delete this from here and put it here. Is that what they're looking for? Because spawner, spawn room, maybe? All right, let's find out. Method spawn has 2 parameters, but the declaration has expected 3. Oh, did I forget to take it out of there? I did. Okay. And now what? Types differ in mutability. Oh, I have to pass in a mutable reference to map. Right? Was that here? No, it's missing from here. Like that? Because it's already a reference. It's already a mutable reference. Type in trait. Oh, that's what's wrong over here. This is mute map. So that's okay. We're debugging their tutorial. Okay, so that built. It should work exactly the same. I'm just going to quickly add that command to my nmap q:/q cr. Okay. Let's build this, and everything should work exactly the same. Do you feel like you've been able to grasp the core ideas of ECS through the guide? I believe so. Togglebit was saying that specs is a good starting ECS to learn the concepts, and then there are others out there that we can look into. One I did some Googling. I found one called Legion, which I think is done by the same Amethyst group. ECS Legion Crate, maybe? Yeah, so yeah, Amethyst does it also. High Performance Rust ECS Library. So maybe once I'm done with this tutorial, I can take a look at some of the other ECS crates out there that would... Okay, so we got this built. We should be able to... Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the goodies spawn that I put at the front. So does anything spawn besides those? Yes, no, yes. There's bear traps. Bear traps are really easy to... Oops. I was just about to say, they show up pretty quickly, and then I step on one. All right. So I'm able to get stuff, equip it. Okay, so everything's still working exactly the same. So we've done a lot of work to stay in the same spot. Yeah, cargo run should give you the same game we've been looking at for 22 chapters. All right, so let's clippy it. Let's diff it. Yeah, so this is pretty simple. All we did was add the spawn thing. And add source, git commit, factor out spawn function. Good. All right, so next up is maintaining builder state. Oh, this is long. Okay, if you look closely, what we've done so far, there's one problem. The builder has no way of knowing what should be used for the second call to the builder spawning things. That's because our function is stateless. We don't actually create a builder and give it a way to remember anything. Since we want to support a wide variety of builders, we should correct that. Okay, I'm vaguely understanding what the issue is here. What should be used for the second call to the builder spawning things? Oh, okay. So I think I get it. What? Okay. I think what they're talking about here is in map builders. When you call build, you're building a random map, right? And it's going to choose a random map. And right now there's only simple map builder. So that's the only map it's going to build. So then when we try to spawn, it's very easy to know which map builder to use for spawning because it's the only one that exists. But if we have multiple map types, we need to make sure that a spawn knows which map type we're building. Okay. I think that's what they're talking about here. There. So, dynamic dispatch. Okay, this might be the first time I'm using dynamic dispatch in Rust. So it specifies an interface, which is what traits are kind of like, right? And the implementation runs the actual type, right? So I understand dynamic dispatch from the point of view of like, Java or C++, but this is new for Rust for me. Dynamic dispatch does come with a cost, which is why ECS prefer not to use it for performance critical code. There's two costs. Since you don't know what type the object is up front, you have to allocate it via a pointer. All right, so you get a little indirection. We're using a box system in Rust. I played around with boxes a little bit, but this will be good. And then since multiple types can implement methods, the computer needs to know which one to run, so it uses a vtable. Yeah, and John Jinxit, I think that's where you say it. John Jinxit had a couple of YouTube videos on that. So each call has to check the table, find out which method to run, and then run from there. And there's another cache miss and more time on the CPU. Yeah, so it slows things down, but you get some benefits, right? Hopefully. So we're just generating a map and making a few calls into the builder, so the slowdown is acceptable. So how do we implement this? So we still have the new depth here. All right, we'll get there. So what changes here? Pub trait map builder. Okay, so we can make that a pub trait. Right? But this is the same. Oh, mutes. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're using self instead of the map. That makes sense. So we're generating a brand new. Yeah, and we played around with this a little bit when we refactored the menu code. Self. And they changed this to build map and spawn entities. And we'll have to see what's going on here with the new depth, because it should be part of the map. I've also taken the time to make the names a bit more descriptive. Replace our free function calls with a factory function. Pub fun random builder creates a box din map builder. Okay. The thing which tripped me up with dynamic dispatch in the beginning is that Rust has type erasure. So there's no way to go back to the original object. In C++, you can always perform a dynamic cast to get the original. That's interesting. I did not know about that. Does type erasure, is there a safety issue around that? And that's why they're doing that? Or is it, maybe it's something that's coming up later in Rust? I don't know. All right. It creates a map builder and returns it. It's a bit of a lie until we have more map implementations. Right, that's okay. And there's a Soviet joke. The Soviet Union hasn't been around for how long now? But Soviet jokes persist. It doesn't return a map builder, it returns a boxed-in map builder. Earlier versions of Rust, the din is optional. A box type is wrapped in a pointer whose size may not be known at compile time. I think it's more for performance space reason, not wanting to maintain type information in runtime. Okay, yeah, I mean, that sounds reasonable to me. Maybe that's something that we'll get into in this tutorial, or I can read that, or read about that offline. See why they do type erasure. Let's do that. Does Rust erase generic types or not? Monomorphization. Reflection capabilities in Rust are limited. Any is pretty much all we've got for now. Okay. You cannot obtain more information about the type of runtime value. And this is a relatively recent post. So, okay. That's interesting to know. Hopefully I won't trip up over that during this tutorial. Yeah, Rust reflection. I know Java has pretty intense reflection, but I haven't played with reflection in Rust. All right, so it returns a box new simple map builder, and this actually is two calls, right? We make a box with box new, and we place an empty simple map builder into the box, and then in main we obtain a boxed map builder object from the factory. We call build map as a method, and then called spawn entities also as a method. And the implementation of go to next level now looks like this. Okay, where do we? So here's where we grab the random builder, right? And then where do we use that? Right here, builder build map, and builder spawn entities. Okay. It's not very different, but now we're keeping the builder object around, so subsequent calls to the builder will apply the same implementation. All right. And it looks like we don't have to do anything fancy. The fact that we're getting a box back doesn't seem to make a difference to Rust. We can just say builder.buildMap, and I guess the box implements a deref thing that allows us to just bypass having to extract anything from the box. That's pretty cool. All right, so if we go over to, where's go to next level? I've forgotten. Okay, so that's in game state. Go to next, yep. Oh yeah, we refactored that, okay. So what we're gonna do is up here, let mute builder, map builders, random. Oh, we don't need to do that, right? Because we pull that into our thing. Builder, current depth +1. Right, and then when we build the map, instead of calling build random map, we're just going to say builder.build wrap, like that. Yeah, I'm doing the depth +1 thing here instead. And then down here for spawn, oh, builder spawn entities, yep. So we're going to do that here, like that. Builder.spawn entities, world map, self ECS, and we're not passing in the current depth because we get that from the map itself, right? And then we have to do that in main as well. Something went wrong here. Build. Oh, right. So this is build map, and this one is spawn entities, right? That was the next error. And then here, cannot find current depth. Oh. Oh, now everything's broken, right? Because we need the builder outside, and we need to build the map inside. So all that refactoring I did before is broken. I think it's more for performance space reason, not wanting to maintain type information in runtime. Yeah. Oh, you said that before. Sorry, I thought that was new. Okay. So what can we do here in order to get a current depth of? We can always grab this outside, right? Can we do that and then calculate the new depth outside? Oops, I'm going to hit V. My fingers were off there. Put this here, like that. Will this break everything? And then we're setting the world map here, world map resource here. What's going to break? Let's find out what breaks. Oh yeah, we don't have current depth. Okay, so that goes here now, because okay, this gets new depth. New depth. Yeah. Okay. Does that work? Expected mute self in impl. And here as well. Like that. Right? I was going to complain about that one. Okay, so this is still bad. This function takes 0 argument, but 1 argument was supplied. So random builder should take, oh yeah, okay, it just pulls in a random builder, and it doesn't take a, so I didn't need to do all of that. Huh. Can I undo all of that? Because we don't need current depth plus 1 anymore, right? So there's that, right? So we can just do that, right? Map rooms iter self rooms iter, right? Self depth. Okay. Expected 3 parameters, found 2. Oh, because I left that in there. Okay. Right. We don't need the map in here. Right? Because we have the map. Did they do that? No, they put mute self. Oh, we do need the map because what else are you working with, right? So spawn entities has self map and world. If I go back here, I should have the map here. Like that. And this should be map and map. Like that. And this doesn't like this. Oh, types differ in mutability, so we need to pass in a mutable reference to the world map. Okay. And now we got to change this one. Okay. So all we have to do is call random builder, right? Or create a random builder. Right. So we'll just say let mute builder random builder like that. And we'll say builder.build map like that. That doesn't get a level. Oh, that does get a level. This is one that doesn't get a level. And then instead of doing this, we're going to call builder.spawn entities with a mutable reference to the map, which needs to be mutable up here. Right? And the current depth, which is 1. Right? Oh, and we have to pass in GS ECS. Supply 3 arguments, expected 2 arguments. How did we do it here? Oh, we don't pass in the level, right? Okay. 2 warnings though. All right, so let's fix the warnings. What got you interested in Rust? It is, so I've been watching a bunch of Rust streams. I originally started playing with Rust, was it 2 years ago, before Advent of Code? So I did a lot of Rust in Advent of Code. I was just trying to play with Go and play with Rust. So it wasn't just specifically Rust I was doing. I was just trying to see what, these newfangled languages. And after playing around with Rust and Go, I kind of gravitated towards Rust. Rust felt more, so my day job, I program in C, and I guess I felt a little more comfortable doing Rust than Go. Go was more mushy in terms of concepts for me. I'm not saying people who like Go are bad. I'm just saying it's just for me, I kind of just, Rust seems to fit my brain patterns better, I guess. Okay, what are we doing here? We're getting the depth, but we're not using it anywhere. Right, because it's part of the spawner, because it's part of the map, we don't need to pass it back anymore because we're not actually using this. The only thing we use the new depth for is this here. Okay. So we'll pull that out. Make sure cargo checks. It does. And again, we've done a bunch of refactoring work, but nothing should change from the user's point of view, right? Right. So all we did was make this so that we have dynamic dispatch instead of, so dynamic dispatch instead of a static dispatch. Source git commit refactor map building and spawning to use dynamic dispatch. And I'll be switching over to Advent of Code in December. We're getting close. We're getting close to that. After the Thanksgiving break, we'll do that. That'll be fun. All right, so it's not very different, but now we're keeping the builder object around, so subsequent calls apply to the same implementation. So if we were to add 5 more map builders, the code in main RS wouldn't care. We can add them to factory, and the rest of the program is blissfully unaware of the workings of the map builder. It's a very good example of how dynamic dispatch can be useful. You have a clearly defined interface, and the rest of the program doesn't need to understand the inner workings. Perfect. All right, so adding a constructor to Simple Map Builder. So we're currently making a Simple Map Builder as an empty object, but what if it needs to keep track of some data? So let's add a simple constructor to it and use that instead of a blank object in Simple Map, okay? I do have that in the history. So we're going to create a new, right here, new depth. Oh, maybe this is where the depth comes into play. Right? But we're still not using it. Simple map. We're just creating an object and ignoring the new depth thing. So Russ is going to complain, and we have to pass it in. Change the random map builder. Oh, so we do need to pass in the depth. Oh boy. All right, so first of all, we're going to put an underscore there because we're not using it. Second of all, we're going to have to change the random map builder, right, to take a depth. So we're going to have to refactor everything. I32, and then simple map builder, new depth. Right? And now we have to go back to game state. Random builder needs the depth. Okay, so let's pull these out. Put that there. Shift those over. Pass in the new depth. Okay. Hopefully that all still does the same thing. And then back in main, we're going to pass in 1 for the depth. So we don't actually need to pass in depth here then if we're passing in depth here, right? But we're doing it both. We do both. Oh, yeah, so now we have an issue with we're grabbing a mutable borrow here, and then we need and then down here we need to be able to have a mutable, so we can't hold on to this world map resource and still have a mutable ECS here, which means we have to put this in braces, right? So that Rust understands that we're dropping the world map resource here, but we need to be able to pass back the depth, right? Because we need, we don't need the depth anywhere. We just need a world map, right? So we can just say let mute world map equal that. Oh, and player start. We still need player start. Yep. And then here we'll just pass those back. World map and player start. This is awkward code. Can I do this, I wonder? Like that. Will that do the trick? No, because we need builder. We also need builder. Okay. Will this do the trick? Yes, okay. So what we did was add the new depth and we store that nowhere, but that's okay. Now we have the right interface for it. Okay, and again, oops, even though we did all this code, nothing has changed in the game. I'm gonna remove that console logging for the traps. Let me do that too while I'm here. Yeah, so now we pass in the depth, we pass in the depth, we pass in the depth, and we rework this so we can use it. Okay. Pass depth to random builder for map builder construction. Let's push that up there, and then where's the console? It's in spawner. 379. Gone. Okay. Remove console log. Good. And we'll push that up. All right. So cleaning up the trait, simple, obvious steps, and single return types. So we're still not making any random maps. We're still doing a lot of refactoring. I wonder how much is left on this. A lot. All right. I've got about 10 minutes left for the stream, and then we wrap things up. All right. Let's see how far we can get. So we've got build map, we've got spawn entities, and now we're going to have two new functions in the trait. Right? We're going to have get map, and we're going to have get starting position. It's interesting that these are mutable. We'll take a look. Maybe they can be made not mutable. All right. And now we need to implement these in our simple map builder. So map builder no longer returns anything at all. Oh, build map no longer returns anything at all. Okay. Spawn entity no longer asks for a map parameter. Okay. Right, that's what we were going for before. We almost got there. Since all map builders have to implement a map in order to make sense, we're going to assume that the map builder has one. Get map returns a map, and get starting position returns a position. So now we have to modify our simple map to understand all of this. Right? So we change that. Simple map builder now contains a map, a starting, oops, why is that not indenting right? Starting position and a depth, right? And we're going to stash those. Okay, when we create new, see, why keep these in two different spots? I'm going to refactor that on the fly. I'm going to live dangerously here and just use the map's depth. The map, new depth. So this is why we needed it. Excuse me, I need to sneeze. And hopefully I muted that on time. Starting position is position, and we're just going to give it 0, 0, but obviously that needs to change when you build the map. And we're going to ignore the whole depth because we're passing it into the map. There's no reason to have it twice. So this also simplifies build map and spawn entities. So build map understands that self has a map. So we just need to call that. And rooms and corridors should no longer return a position, right? We just added that too, didn't we? I'm going to keep this code here because I think we're going to use it for get position. And then spawn entities no longer uses the map from here, but goes self map. Right? Like that. Okay. We'll have to modify rooms and corridors to work with this interface, so it's just a mute self. Oh, that's interesting. So we don't want to call it like this. We want to say self dot rooms and corridors, right? Right, because we're passing this in as a mutable reference to self. We need to do that. So that's a bug in the tutorial. I think we'll find out when I try to build it. Right. This all probably stays the same, all the way down to push new room. Yep. Stairs position is the same. Starting position is now being set instead of returned. Okay. Self starting position is equal to the position. And oops, it's no longer being returned because there's no more return. Okay. But we still need to do that. Oh yeah, then we have to modify the code in main RS and go to next level. And then we have to add code for get map, right? Get map. And I think we could just do this, right? And just say self.map. And then get starting position self position starting self.starting position. And they don't need to be mutable, right? So if I look back in mod here, let's see if we can remove the mutability from those guys and still get everything to work. I need to modify main now, because now when we call build map, we don't get the map and player location. We have to actually ask for those. So we say let player lock equals builder get starting position, right? And do we need the map? What do we use that for? Oh, for spawn goodies and spawn entities. Oh, but we don't need that here, right? Anymore. Right? So if we eliminate the spawn goodies, we don't need the map. Right? Oh, we do, because we have to insert it here. Okay. So let mute map equals builder get map, like that. And I think then we have to change the level code. Cannot find value map in this scope. Oh. Rooms and corridors mute self, so it doesn't take anything. Oh, self. Right? What other error is there? Yeah, self. 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 Self, 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 self. Right there, right there, right there, right there. And it's complaining here because we got to fix this, right? So we need player start is just builder get player position, right? and new map is here, and this is builder get map, right? Just like that. Self map won't work out if reference self map is not copyable. Oh, okay. Let's see if it can play. No, get player position. Maybe this is what you're referring to here. Is that won't work? Mismatched types. What is it expecting? I found expected mutable and found structural map. So I was expecting a mutable map like that. And get player position still doesn't exist. Why not? Is that what I did? I did that in main, right? Oh, starting position. Huh? Okay. And spawn entities is expecting no map. Right? Quit out of that. Okay, is this the same thing? Yeah, mute. Okay. I should have heeded your warning, Sam. And now we have a problem here. Move occurs because builder has, which does not implement copy type. Oh, okay. Yep. Let player start equals builder get starting position. Yeah, I think it's because I'm returning builder here, but I'm also calling builder here, and Rust doesn't like that. Oh, we still have two errors. Move occurs because self map has type tutorial map, which does not implement the copy trait. So do we return a reference to map then? I keep hitting F1. It's that stupid taskbar. And we might have to do that here too, or just position implement copy. Oh, yeah, I got to change the function signature as well. Oh, mod. So this expected to map, and it found a reference. So if we do star, does that fix that? Nope. Move occurs because, oh, now here we go. Can I add copy to map? I don't know if I can. Where would map be? Map. Here's map. You can probably clone. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, well, then we're creating the map and then cloning it and throwing away the old one. There's got to be a better way. Imagine them on TV. There's got to be a better. Okay, so now, yeah. Copy. So clone here. That's really bad. That's really bad. Okay, still two errors. Although this error is barred value does not live long enough. Dang it. Dang it. Okay. Let me try adding copy to map and see if that builds. I don't know if it'll build, Copies should never be added to complex objects. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you, but how else do we get a reference to the map and not have to worry about messing around with lifetimes? Borrowed value does not live long enough. Argument requires that star builder is borrowed for static, and then builder is dropped here while still borrowed. Yeah, okay. So how did they get it to work here, right? Because they're obviously returning a map. Oh, they are doing clones. Oh, okay. I missed that. I missed that they were doing clones. Okay. That's still kind of annoying, right? To have to do a clone. So this is in mod.rs here. We'll get rid of that. And then we'll go back to simple map and return a clone. Right? And then we need to modify the game state. Clones are okay for builders, so you can reuse the builder. Yeah, okay. I'll accept that. We're cloning it here anyway. We can unclone it there. Right? Does this do the trick? Well, no errors, but we still have 6 warnings. Let's find out what the warnings are. There's probably some stuff I forgot to clean up. All right, so we don't need world map. Really? Generically speaking, I'm not smart enough to tell if that's a pun, Sam. It might be a pun. We are using, I thought we were using the world map after this, but it looks like we're not. Once we build it, we're done. So we don't need to do a world map clone anymore? Because the map is in here now? Now I'm worried, because if we clone the map into world map resource, we want to spawn entities on the world map, don't we? Not on the original, right? The cloned thing, not the original. I don't know if it matters, though, because they're just entities that live in the world. Something went wrong between the chair and the keyboard, so it's a pun now. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been good at coding and debugging and reading and being smart all at the same time. Does that fix the warning though if I do that? It does, and now build map doesn't need the depth, which makes sense because the depth comes from the map, and then in main the map doesn't have to be mutable anymore. Okay. Oh, sorry, what line was that? 13. Yeah, we don't need the depth because we set the depth here in the map, right? And then in main, on line 63, we're creating a map. We're spawning goodies in map room 0, but the map itself doesn't need to be mutable. And then we insert a map. Okay. So does that checks? Does that clip? No. Why did cargo check pass, but cargo clippy found a bug? Yeah, so in mod RS, we don't need to pass in the depth here, like that. Yeah, so we're passing the depth here. We don't need to pass it in here. And same with this. Good. Hi, VM user. Good to see you again. All right, so now is Clippy happy? Flippy's happy. All right, so what did we do? Yes, what have we done? So we now can extract the map and starting position based on the map itself rather than assuming that there's a room and we can do rooms of 0. So that means this is going to actually have to change at some point because... So this spawn goodies thing is something I added just to make it easy to debug things, because I can hit refresh and then get a bunch of starting items in the room. But I could always just put them in the player's backpack instead. So maybe I should do that. Not right now though, because I am over my time limit. All right, sorry. So what I was doing was looking at what we changed. Right, so now we can spawn entities and in the room based on room logic. We still only have a single type of room. Yeah, so we modified all this. There's the game state changes. Okay, good. I didn't miss anything. Good. Commit -m spawn. So refactor room spawn based on map type. And we will push that up. And we're going to call this a stream. All right. This looks good. So this was an interesting set of steps that we did to refactor stuff. It didn't change any of the gameplay yet, but we're getting there. Hopefully we'll be able to start refactoring rooms and making new room types, but we'll save that for tomorrow. Meanwhile, it looks like Son of Viking is doing stuff, so why don't we all head over to him. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.